12 Things You Unconsciously Do When Depressed. Depression is not a choice. No one in this world that chooses to be depressed. But when we are too tired with this life, or there are too many things that trigger it, depression just happens itself in our mind. But some people even do not realize that they are suffering from depression, and often do things unconsciously. If you do these things unconsciously, it could be the indication that you are suffering from depression, and you should speak with your physician right away if you have any of these warning signs. Overly anxious. Anxiety is the normal feeling that comes to everyone whenever something bad happens. Also, human beings have the moments of excitement or nervous energy. It's nothing you should worry about. But you also should pay attention to its frequency and duration, and the source of that anxiety. When it's too often and too long, it might be that you are depressed. For instance, you have extra stress at work or in a relationship, even if it is a good kind of stress, can cause anxiety for depressed people. However, when the anxiety is ongoing, yet you can't point to a specific reason or pattern, it could be the indicator of depression. Significant shift in your attitude or mood. In the recent moment, your closest ones including family and friends notice the significant shift in your mood and attitude. It means that you react to something not how you typically act or feel. It's also not tied to any known changes. You just easily change your mood from happy to sad, and vice versa. You become very vulnerable even by a little thing that happens in your life. You recently lose interest in your favorite activities. You have your favorite activities to do almost every day, or once a week, such as exercise, meet up with friends, or simply watch drama on Netflix. But recently, you find yourself lose the interest to those things. You skip those activities you used to do regularly because you don't feel up to it as expected. You should be aware of this sign because it could be the indication of depression. Different eating habit. People with depression also gain or lost interest in eating. Their eating habits change differently from their usual habit. The eating habit is linked to mental health in many ways. You should check your body weight. When you are not in gain weight or lose weight program, but you gain some weights and lose weights extremely, and there is a big difference in your daily caloric intake, you must aware of this sign of depression. Low self-esteem. Ask yourself about how you look yourself. How is your self-esteem? Everyone has things they would improve or change about themselves. Also, no one is perfect. Human beings live with all flaws and it's natural. But when now you are struggling really hard to find things you like about yourself, it might be you have low self-esteem. Maybe, you also too focus obsessively on past mistakes, and focus on parts of your life or body you wish were different. You also have many other negative self-talk issues. In this condition, you need the help from physician or a counselor can help you get back on track because you may suffer from depression. Change your sleep schedule. Do you sleep well? There are many reasons why you still feel tired during the day after a night rest. One of the reasons is because you don't have good quality sleeping. You may sleep and close your eyes, but you can't sleep well at all. Remember that your sleep patterns say a lot about your overall health, both physically and mentally. It's the basic need of every creature. When you are depressed, you change your sleeping schedule, either sleeping too much or sleeping too less. That's why, we recommend you to use the sleep monitoring device to bed and share your findings along with your level of energy during the day with your physician. This way will help determine whether depression is your problem or not. Unexplained pains. Are you having aches and pains without knowing the cause? If you have different habit in eating and sleeping, our body can respond with a physical pain or muscle spasms. So when you frequently feel physical pain without the clear diagnosis, it might be because of the depression as the underlying issue. Maintaining more negative emotions. If you notice the more negative emotions than the positive, you also should be aware of this sign. Some people believe that it's natural. But somehow, if you have the negative outlook in your life, it's the indicator that you are struggling with depression. Our emotional responses to many things that happen in this life can reflect our mental health. So when you find this sign on you, you need the treatment soon to overcome depression. Constantly want to socialize. You suddenly want to socialize with friends, and it's typically not your character. Or you may feel increasingly uncomfortable by yourself, so you need to rely on other people in every situation. According to an article by Stephen Berglas from Forbes, some people with depression might find themselves spending every free minute with others, Berglas 2011. It's healthy and necessary, but when it's too much, it's often linked to the depression. You are afraid of being alone, so you need other people beside you in every free time you have in this life. Isolate ourselves. It's the opposite of the previous sign. Some people who don't notice that they are depressed withdraw themselves from social life. They isolate themselves and spend most of their time alone. You often cancel the plan, and refuse to join the party of or other social invitations. Social isolation is detrimental for your mental health, especially if it's done frequently in long duration. You need support from someone else. Inappropriately express emotion. Different people have different way to express emotion. But people with depression often express emotion inappropriately. So, do you find yourself reacting to things in inappropriate ways? Maybe, you cry more often during times you know you aren't supposed to. Or you laugh when you should give empathy or feel sorry. According Berglas, there is a subset of depression called alexithymia that essentially makes you feel like your emotions are unbalanced with the world around you. This also might be manifested in many ways, such as you mute your emotions when it's supposed to be heavy, or vice versa. Maybe you find yourself becomes overreacted to something, with intense sadness or laughter during a situation where you typically would not react as much. Have more intense reactions. The way you react to a situation also can be an indication of your mental health. Someone who are suffering from depression often react to something more intense, and unconsciously blowing smaller things way out of proportion. For instance, you find yourself angry when you hear the rapid clicks of a pen. According to Berglas, those with depression often suffer from a great deal of internal, emotional pain, and experts think that they compensate for this pain by taking it out on smaller annoyances, and therefore on other people, Berglas 2011. You also may not be able to control those reactions. But you can practice to control it by practicing mindfulness.